service. Our recording. Okay, so report forms have to be built at the component level, not have any high-level designer report forms. So at the component level.
Okay.
Into notebooks, book designer, component designer.
Okay.
About this, and designer has what we call low-level metadata. That sense the notebooks, the tabs, the fields, the mirrors, which are these things, and which all report forms with report. We do have two report forms in this configuration. They're probably just not enabled. They're in here, and then we have report scripts.
Okay.
Have any? We do. So, like, we have two report forms that are in base config, but they're probably just not enabled. So, we can see the first one here has a caption of report 1. Second, is here. It is visible if you belong to a group called reports. And related. Yeah, probably be a manager. So, like this report form is from here, and it is connected to the QA manager. The QA manager, let's go into that, has properties that makes manager only visible if you belong to the QA test group. Okay. So these things right here are called managers, and we belong to the QA test group. This manager called QA show up. So personnel record and assign us to the QA group. And again, we might see these report forms. So, who currently logged in as? I think I can figure that out by going to the help about. We are currently logged again. I think we're this. Does that make sense? Oh no, Jenny.
Yeah.
I think we're logged in as. If we can find that login. In the system logins notebook, that's where you create user accounts.
Yeah.
So that's in as, and we're set up belong to the super developer group, which it inserts a bunch of groups, so you belong to all of these groups. But QA group, add to the QA group. Okay. We don't think we can just think we have to, but I pressed the reload config button.
Okay.
Is under the menu. When I get change to something, you typically see icon here, reconfiguration. Also, same thing as this right here, reload configuration. I don't know if that makes things take effect, and I don't see a QA here. I think I'm logged back in, so I'm going to quit. If you quit LawManager Pro, you have to make sure it's completely shut down. So check in here to make sure it's not. Okay, and I think log in through, right? Now, the developer build or the, can you take over and log in? I don't know what the password is, or if there is a password.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
1, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very secure. But no hackers are watching our WebEx session. Okay, so now let's see if we see a QA where, oh, there may not be any notebooks, but there may be
Yeah.
Report 1. Good. So at least we have a report form. We can verify that it's a report form. You do not need what's called report input parameters configured. You just get a basic report form that looks like this.
Okay.
It allows you to choose which report and type in a optional title to the report and run it. Show you how it works. So we get back to our component designer.
Okay.
And these things are all put together. Oh, I did it again. That might actually fix it, right? Goes good. Okay, so if we look at, let me walk you through the whole tree here.
Okay.
I think this will be very beneficial. Everything starts with this component. We called it the system. So this is the master component that everything starts from. It has a set of properties that are sort of what we call system level properties that you set. Okay,
Yeah.
and from there, child component is an application component. It doesn't really have many properties at all. It's just a, what we call the application component. It's children, all the managers. So it finds all the managers in the system and managers or subsystems. And managers, this is sort of the list of managers. It has some notebooks connected to it. As chosen, the manager shows up here and the notebooks show up here. But if it doesn't have any notebooks connected, it'll up. Managers also show up under the reports menu here. And again, they only show up, the managers only show up if they have, on this menu, have a report form connected to them. So there's managers in your system, but a manager has a report form connected to it. So it shows up here. And
Okay.
I do not have any notebook connected to it because I'm not seeing the QA manager show up here. See, this is the total list of all the managers. And managers are sort of just modules. And here, QA manager, and if we drill into it children are is just one of these report forms.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas many of the other managers, if we looked at another manager here, you would see that it has a lot of children. Children are worksheets, or what we call notebooks. Okay. Now, these of a manager are sort of captions, sort order, and whether it's visible or not. And it's shown in our report forms. If we go into the report form, the report has properties. You have children, which would be report scripts, and the report script properties
The properties, and I'm not sure.
are the crystal report or any scripts that should run for the report.
Okay.
A script that runs before the report and a script that attempts to run after the report. So what we want to do is we're going to be adding a rate to the report form. So that's sort of the tree of how things are connected, but let's just look up our report form. And here's the report form, report 1. Again, that's what's showing up right here, report 1, the caption.
Yeah.
Right? And we want to relate report that is a radio button. So the probably will be to just relate some button that's already configured. It could be a new column, but got lots of radio buttons system.
Oh.
So, for example, if I go to the entity notebook, we've got controls sitting there,
Yeah.
right? So I'll show you, we'll add this button to our report. Find out what this component is, right? And basically go design mode on form. You can just click on a field, right? And this scene went to design mode. A component designer notebook opens up. This is not the one I was working on. This one went into design mode. And click in design mode here. I have to be very careful when I'm in design mode. When I field, it looks up the component that I focused on over here. Okay, so focus on, this is the, when I focus, it looks up. This is the component key of that field. Okay, so I'm going to type the component key and cut it, so I have it. I usually, whenever I go into design mode, I make sure I come out of design mode, because when you're in design mode, you can really mess things up. So you go to design mode, be careful in design mode, and click on fields. You can position them, move them around on the screen, and figure properties, but don't just stay in design mode. Sort of go in and do something and come out. That's my recommendation.
Okay, thank you.
Then here's our report form, and if I connect a component, I've done this in a while, so I think I'm doing it right. If I connect, I'm going to paste now.
The component, right? Yeah. Oh yeah.
I take the key, I copy the key, and then when I paste the key, this is drop down. It knows to connect the component up. Selected that form, and if I reload config, whenever I change at the component level, I need to reconfig. We shall have a radio button Yes, there it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's, I don't know if this is actually doing anything. It should probably be running that script. If that script, do you have the debugger installed? Debugger, that's this icon here. It's supposed to look like a bug.
Yeah.
I don't see the debugger starting up.
It's just that. Yeah, it's there. Oh.
Oh yeah, good. And these debugger, the debugger is really cool.
Yeah.
Showing a connection here. So if we have Evla debugging turned on, roles, ops, yeah, unique expert mode and Evla debugging. And now when the debugger starts up, it should show the under the window, it should show us a connection to this right here, and it's not. Now let's see what there's two executables. There's a developer executable and a non-developer executable. So let me see.
This is LawManager Pro. The other is the LawManager Dev.
Pro Dev. This is Pro Dev.
Yeah, to Pro LawManager is just not there.
Yeah, I don't think.
Okay.
To
Yeah.
where?
Todos los programas. The first one. Go there.
Right. And search for it through programs.
Yeah.
Did I do the okay? So LawManager, developer one.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you experimented with the design mode or the developer at all? Or the debugger?
Debugger, no. But yeah, with the designer, we already made some tests with the corner.
Here. So you see here, I'll let you know, you have to have this tree here, otherwise it's not working. So, because I saw when there was some scripts connected to this form, and scripts are not engaging. And, there's a script on the radio button, so that's yeah, that makes sense. We connected a radio button that's on the entity notebook to our report form, so it's complaining here just as this button shouldn't really be on this form, but that's not a problem. Could you maximize that? Yeah, thanks. So, oops. Get this, I had to unmaximize it. Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. Okay, good. So the defect was that if there was just a radio button on the form, it was going to blow up, right?
Yeah.
Was that fact?
Yeah, in the front, yeah, it's
Es que se decía de que la Chrysler reportó de que estaban teniendo problemas a la hora de ejecutar un reporte que tenía radio boot. Entonces tenemos
okay. Telling me that the issue that Chrysler report was that they was executing a report that means radio button, and they couldn't execute that.
Right. Let me make sure design mode also works in here. Yeah, good. I think that was another problem. Design mode wasn't working. Okay, I think I'm going to add a new radio button. This other notebook is probably going to need to access properly. So I'm a little sorry now. Oops. You have to WebEx.
Where is it? No se entiende. Sí, lo pasamos bien.
Okay. So that now is the definition of the red button. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new instead of this one. So I'm column and be a no button. And as our last character for column components. Now, you know what? It's going to inherit from the base radio. Inherit as this is the one that was on the entity notebook. And what I'm going to say, radio button for report form. And if I make it inherit, I to copy and paste there, but inherit from the same base, which is late for radio buttons, and we will have a functional radio button. I'm then going to copy properties. Accept field changes. That's the script that was causing us some headaches. In the existing item. So I did a copy and then a paste. You could highlight a data in Pro. It's one really nice feature of Pro. You can do copy and paste of cells like Excel.
Properties.
I think most of these properties are probably pretty good. With that script run. Could be somewhere else, but it doesn't really matter to us to keep all those properties. I just didn't want the, now we're in from this inherited, so no logic is coming from this inherited component. I'm going to connect, I'm going to do a copy here, because this is what we want. I'm going to connect up a child support form here, paste, and I'm going to delete the connection. Not deleting the component, just deleting that button.
Yeah.
So we have our own little radio button connected to our report form in this QA environment. And we do with it what we want. So I think that's all we need to do. Now I'm going to reload config. And when we test our report form, I think to enable working. Oops. So I don't kicked in. Highlighted when something's wrong there.
Yeah.
And before, when I was changing the radio button values, it was causing script to engage. Now it's not. Run the report form had an after report script, which should engage the debugger. So I think it did engage. So to execute this, it's failing because you don't have
with a report viewer. Yeah.
So I don't know working Crystal reports working with Pro, but you at least have a report form set up to be able to. It'll look for, in this case, it's looking for Crystal 9 to be installed. You could get to whatever version of Crystal, and then also going to look for this report form in this directory path. Try to run it. So this sample report setup row, which
when I try to write into that folder, no. Also testing that because we have some issues trying to write into that folder.
So I mean, you could put this. I mean, you can edit this script but at least you now have a base script that you can to try to run a crystal report. One edit here would be, you would edit this for each different version of Crystal that you're going to test, and it can be any path. You just get an actual Crystal report, you know, and play somewhere, and then edit this script to be able to find it. Okay.
Okay.
And then I think the last thing I wanted to double check is there was some problems reported in what I do now. Oops. Bring it back up. To design mode, the report form like this. I think there were some problems when I tried to move the fields report form. It had them, but it looks like it's working now. So now I move this field, I'm moving our new field, right, and it will not affect that somewhere else. In the previous instance, if I would have done that, actually move the field on the entity notebook also. But now my own field, it's not going to affect this field over here.
Perfect.
So I think the report, you have report form enabled. It's got a radio button, and it looks like it works. We probably need to add the field form so that you can verify that, you know, a drop-down field, a date field, you know, these fields do work properly.
Different type of, yeah.
Right, and that all has to be done at the component notebook level. So maybe on you try yourself. If you have trouble, give me a holler, and I can help out if you need to. Whether you need to test that right now, but eventually it would be nice to verify that report forms work with all types of fields, and that Crystal Reports actually does work too.
Yeah, we're gonna be bothering you, asking for your help, and it's really helpful. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, Chris Lawrence from Bluebell is sort of the expert with Crystal Reports. I don't know too much about the resource that you may want to involve Chris Lawrence.
What, Chris?
Chris Lawrence.
Chris, okay.
He knows the most about Crystal Reports.
Okay.
Okay?
It's not okay. Thanks.
You're very welcome. Have fun, guys. Really appreciate your help.
You too. All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.